What is good, guys? Sacoz back at it with another Photoshop tutorial, and in today's tutorial I'm gonna show you how to do this exact currently offline stream kind of graphic thing for your Twitch. And this is amazing. This is not my color scheme, so I will not use it personally, but I found this cool color scheme that I did for a client, and I just didn't want to show what I did to the client and teach you how to do it. I feel that's kind of unfair, but let's just run down in this theme how I did it. You know, at the end I maybe end up using it. So it says a stream offline, of course, but you can make it for starting soon, ending soon, be right back, whatever you really need. Let's get right into it. Alright, so as you can see, this takes little layers. It doesn't take that much to do. So I'm just gonna copy the background layer because that's what I need. And let's hide this. Alright, so I already found a stock I really like, and it's this little stock, which is like a line or something. I don't really know, I just like it a lot, and I'm gonna place it where all the lines are visible in all the canvas, and it's really high resolution. That's what I like. And I'm gonna just place it like this, right? And it was originally like this, but I don't really like all the cyan and all the blues in there. So what I did is I added a black and white layer and then put the cyans at 196, and I didn't touch any of these. I just touched the cyans, so it's not like super dark, because I didn't really like that. I liked it a little bit light, and I liked that effect. So once you're done with this, just put it in a folder called background, because we won't need it anymore. Alright, so we're gonna start with putting a couple of guidelines. So I'm just gonna put a guideline in the middle. Just do it like this and it will snap. A pro tip is to always do it in a new layer that has nothing on it, because if you do have something on that layer, it will snap to the middle of the shape of the text of the image or whatever you have on the layer at the moment. So yes, I'm gonna do it in a new layer, so it just snaps to the canvas, and that is the middle. So I already have a logo, tutorials on logo design coming soon, but I already have my logo, so I'm just gonna add it in right over there. I think it's way smaller though. Yeah, it's way smaller. It's like that. Alright, and then what I did is I went and go to the layer style panel, and then I did a gradient overlay of this gradient I really like. I saved it. I usually save gradients that in my opinion are really cool, and the hex here is 060320 for the first one, and then this is 232323, and then the angle is at -95. You can play with it if you want, but I just like to keep it how it was, right over there. You can make this a layer style, or you can add it for a gradient, because we will be using this in the future for all the text. So just press OK, and now let's move on into the text. So my one says stream offline. You need to make your streaming offline very nice. If it's just a picture, then it won't be really nice, because most of the time you're not gonna be streaming unless you stream like 13 hours a day. Most of the day you won't be streaming. So it's good that when someone visits your channel, they see a good revamp, and that's why I've been doing a lot of stream work lately. And I always say I can make your stream look stunning. I can make you gain more followers, more subscribers by using this, and then I've gotten many clients that way. So that's a tip. So let's move on into the text. So it can say really whatever you want. I had a client that said gearing up instead of starting soon. But yeah, you can literally put whatever you want in this text. I'm just gonna put a stream offline because it's just a tutorial. But if you have like gearing up or partying on the streets or something, then you can put that in. So I'll put a stream, and the font I always use for almost everything is Evocria, and I always have this caps on because most of the time I do work with capital letters a lot. So I just put that. If you unlock it, then that would happen. And then you can make any font italic. Now if it looks good, that's another issue, but you can make everything italic or bold or however you want, really. So this is way closer to the logo. So we're just gonna put it right over there, and then with the Vignettes font and with this bold thing, that you can, if you don't have this, just go to window and then character, and then just press this. This is bold, italic, all caps, all lowercase, and then some other stuff you don't really need for this tutorial. So we're just gonna add the same gradient we added. It should be saved. If it's not saved, just go here and then press new in the logo, and then just click on it. It will be the last one, but we already have it right over here. So what's next would be doing this this offline text, which is a stroke. Now I learned this technique from Steven Van. He did a tutorial on this. It's really short, 3 minutes. You can watch it if you want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just duplicate this text, and as you can see, this text is not in the middle because the font it's kind of messed up. So you just put it in the middle with the help of the guidelines, of course. And then instead of putting a stream, we're gonna put a stream and offline. Of course, I used the italic version of this font just because I like it better, but you can use the regular one if that's something you like. I just like italic. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna go right here where it says opacity and go down where it says fill, and just put the fill to 0%. And it does nothing right now, but just take off the grid and overlay and nothing should come up. Why? Because it says fill 0 and there's no effects, there's no overlay on it. So it's technically an opacity 0, but what allows us to do is to add a stroke if we want, and it will only come up. It's basically if you do a stroke kind of thing, and then you select the fill and then you delete it. That's kind of what it's doing. So once you're done with this, I put the opacity at 31 for something that we're gonna do later, and then just put it at 100% and just messed up with it. Maybe you like it 3. I don't really liked 3 when I was doing it, or you want to go all mental, go to 10 or 100. I don't know. But I just kept it at 2, and then I did position center because in my opinion I just browsed through this and I really liked how center looked, and I've done it for multiple projects, so I know that center looks good. So with the gradient, again, if you already saved it, I should be here. So just select that one, and I use a linear gradient. You can use radial if you want. I actually really like linear, and it's at 90% with a scale of 100%. So when you're done with this, we don't have to do anything else. Just press OK for there. And now what you need to do is, you can see there's this cool outline effect with my logo that's like bumping out in the background. What you need to do that is just duplicate this logo and then put it above everything. I think it's above, right? No, it's beneath everything. So just put it beneath everything. And then do the exact same thing we did with the offline logo. Put the fill at 0%, come over here, put gradient overlay. And then before you do that, just resize it a little bit. It doesn't have to be the final product. So just add the stroke, and I added the same stroke, like the same center, opacity 31%. I did add it at 31%. At 100%, it just didn't look good at all. So I just put it at 31. And then the same gradient, the same linear gradient, and the scale is the same. The size is the same too. So if we hide this and then we go there, it's kind of more, it's kind of bigger. So what I'm gonna do is make it bigger, and then just put the opacity down right over here, and we should be good to go. Now if you do not like, I actually like how it goes like hiding beneath the M. You can put this all above. I don't really like that effect though. But yeah, you can do that. It doesn't really matter for this case because they all have like overlays, but I just like doing it like that. Once you're done with that, just group all of these and then just call it content. That's what I did. I just really like to keep it organized. I put it all in caps for no reason, really. And this is a pro tip. You see the difference between this, right, and this, and the huge difference that there is of course this stuff is smaller. It doesn't have to be exact though, but it's the lighting. Okay, the lighting and the CCs make a huge thing in every single modern design piece you're doing, because it actually gives it that punch. The light gives it that punch of depth, and the color balance and the brightness and the contrast just gives it the style that you want. So if a client says, okay, I want a blue theme banner, or I want a white and black theme to each screen, with the CCs and the lighting, you can reinforce that. Even if you already use strokes of the color, even if you already used the text, that color that they asked for, you can reinforce it with CCs and lighting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a new layer, and with lighting it's really important you do it in a new layer, because you want to have something that's lower opacity and then something that's bigger opacity. What you need to do is just do it in 2 different layers and you're Gucci. So we're just gonna go right here, B, to press brush, and we're just gonna drag it up to a decent size, like 1400, it's nice. And then press D to make the colors default, and then press X to switch it. So white is now your color of the color you want, like the color of the foreground. So what you want to do is in the guideline, just move it up until it fits in the middle, and try to fit the huge circle in the middle guideline, and just click. You can click multiple times if you want. I actually like that effect over there. And I'll put the opacity a little down because I want the light to come up. Of course, with like color images, it's gonna be more easy to see. But it's just here, I just like it to pull a little bit more so it's easier to see and it's like good, and you can see that there's a light coming and the effect is positive. So once you're done, I did add a vignette. I never really added vignettes, but in this case I did add a vignette. So what I'm gonna do is make a brush that it's way bigger, that can fit the whole canvas. And what I do for vignettes is just keep it like this, and to the middle guideline, just click over there. Make sure your foreground color is black, and just click. Now that is a vignette for me. I actually really like that vignette. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna press Command J, and this will make it look really bad depending on what you did, don't worry. Command T, then left click and then flip horizontally. And that's what you get. Now I wanna merge this and then put opacity down instead of going to both of them and putting the same opacity. I just like to do it that way. And then we're gonna move on into the CCs. Now the CCs are really complicated, and some people go overboard because most people just use a pack, right? Which has CCs already in them, and that's cool with me. But if you're a beginner designer, you should be using packs. And in my how to get better at design videos, I did talk a lot about graphic packs. But yeah, I really think it's a good way to grow. But you shouldn't do them like every single time you're designing. You should practice on your own, right? You should go like, okay, so this guy did it this way, I'm gonna do it myself. So if you see that a guy did it this way and you think that you can replicate that using a gradient map or the gradient tool or a certain brush, then go ahead and do so, because it will really help. Same with CCs. If you really like a CC, then go in the folder. They usually have a folder, and then just go, alright, so he made it with this, and this. I think I can make my own version of this if I just put the brightness up, and instead of that vibrance going super up, I'm gonna put it down for a kind of white with a black and white theme. You can just play whatever. I download GFX packs, and I think I'm the only one who does this. I download GFX packs to certainly just look at what the designer has done. Moving on, once you have that vignette, click here and then click shift in layer 4, just group them and let's call it lighting. Not sure if that's how you spell lighting though, but I don't really care about that in my PhDs. So once you have done this, it looks pretty okay. It has depth. Now what I want to do is do a little CC. It really looks similar already, but I want to make it look better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and then put brightness and contrast. And most of the time I'll put the brightness down and the contrast up. But I don't really like that effect in this one. That's what I wanted to change. So I'll put the brightness a little bit up like that. And then if we put the contrast down, right, the lights become darker and the darker becomes lighter. And the exact opposite happens if we drag it all the way up. So I want it to be a little darker because of the S, looks kind of undetailed. So I just did it up until 50. And then of course, here's a pro tip. If you're doing CCs, right, I say that everything is a pro tip. But in this case, if you're doing like brightness up, Don't do luminance up, don't do midtones up, don't do shadows up, don't do everything up, because it's really gonna look uneven. So if you want to find a balance, if you put the brightness all the way up and contrast all the way down, what you want to do is go to curves, right, and then put it the midtones, right. If you go up, it will come brighter. If you go down, it will become darker. So if you want to find that balance between that and this, the bright and the dark, then do that. And of course, we increase the contrast a lot, and the contrast is making the lights lighter and the darks darker. So if we make the lights darker and the darks lighter, that happens. So I think that's a pretty cool effect. I actually really like this. I may use this with my color scheme, and I may just add a color overlay and some gradient maps to the stock of my gold, my kind of yellow, my orange, and then just I may want to use this if I ever stream in Twitch. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I actually looking forward to that idea. But just name this CC, that stands for color correction. Once you're done with this, just export it. Go to File, Export. I always export Quick Express PNG. Unless the client is looking for an advertisement for Instagram, then I do save for web. But if it's just for Twitch or something, you don't really require that much quality like a YouTube thumbnail, I just Quick Express PNG. It really looks good, and I think it's the fastest way and the best way to go. So once you're done, just go to File, Export. You can export as, save for web, whatever. We're just gonna quick export it as PNG for this one. Just let it load, and once you're done, it's gonna bring you to Documents, Assets. I don't know if this is only Mac thing, but just go over here and then just put Twitch offline screen, and I'm gonna put Sacoz because that is my name. I just close this, and it should be over there. 1920 times 1080, that's what you want. And this would be your offline screen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, because there's gonna be way more videos like this in the future. And just subscribe, hit the like button if you're ever gonna use this, if you're ever gonna apply this in any client work or portfolio work, or if you're gonna do this, and if you want a tutorial on how to do the whole Twitch package, like the profile picture, the banner, the overlay, the panels, the everything, then just tell me, because I'll be happy to help you guys with that. And another pro tip, the end pro tip, I always offer unlimited amount of panels and unlimited amount of screens to the client, because then they'll be like, oh, if in 2 years I need a panel, or I open up an Instagram anytime soon or something, I can still contact this guy because he's in the contract. So you do that, and they will name you to other people, because that's a really fair play. But of course, charging a little bit more, because they have unlimited amount of panels. They can make 50 panels if they want. What you need to do is just change the text of something you've already done. So once you're done, hope you enjoyed this video, and it's been Sacoz here, and I'm out. Peace.